Hello, and thank you for giving us another opportunity to spend some time with you on Stairway to Health, brought to you by Health Experts Canada. We've got some great ideas, new information, and hopefully a few laughs for you today. Who knows? If you're not careful, you may learn something.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Stairway to Health podcast. I'm your host, Frank Peary, and I'm here with
Marilyn Mitchell.
And Marilyn, today, let's get physical.
You're wondering why I'm sitting here with my neon leg warmers and my headband on, right? Did you not even question this outfit?
Well, I mean, you inspired. Olivia Newton-John would be proud.
Yeah, well, thanks.
I think it's important this time of year, no matter where anybody is out there, we're entering a new season.
Yeah.
And it really is a lot more about outdoor activities around the house, chores, whatever, right? Work related. So I want to talk a little bit about that. I mean, you obviously dress the way you are. You've inspired this whole idea in my head. So why don't you?
Well, you know what inspired this whole idea was because it's this time of the year where the sun is in your windows more often, because we in North America anyway have changed our clocks. We get longer daylight time. And for those of us who own homes, the daylight coming in through that window feels beautiful on your face, but also shows what the winter has done in the house. So in those corners which you thought you've been cleaning so well, there's a little bit of dust. There's like the windows look like it's still snowing because they're not clean. They've got all that sludge from the outside, all of that kind of thing. And the first thing that I do anyway, and I'm thinking, oh, I've got to get this cleaned up. I've got to do that. So you get a day off and you think, nope, I'm going to start the cleaning. So you get all the stuff for the windows and you get the stepladder and you do whatever. And there you are going through the motions, and you do it for a while and you think, well, maybe I'll have a break. Maybe I'll get a cup of tea or something and sit down for a minute. Climbing back down that ladder, you're thinking, all right, what's happened while I was up here? And then you go to reach to fill the kettle and your arm is so sore and you're thinking, I don't know why I can't reach to this kettle. What's the matter with this? And you don't realize how physical you are doing things that if you were at the gym and decided to take an hour and a half and do upper body exercises, your trainer would have you stretching and doing all this sort of stuff, all the prep that you need before you go about this physical exercise. But because I just figured I was going to do the outside windows, I mean, it's not an exercise. I'm just
a household chore.
Absolutely. And I think we have to discuss that.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. It's funny that you even bring this up today, because this used to be when I was physically training clients, because of course my background is in sports, right? Sports sciences and nutrition. And I used to train a lot of clients this time of year. And the injuries that I would encounter with clients that had nothing to do with their physical workouts, but their injuries because they were raking the yard all weekend, or they were tending to their gardens, or they were pulling weeds, or they were, exactly that. Spring cleaning, washing the windows, climbing up, dusting high areas. It's amazing how we don't think about simple chores, simple everyday chores and tasks as being physical or being exercise. But you're right. We're using different muscle fibers. We're using different body parts, and we're moving in different ways than our bodies are used to. Most of us, let's face it, unless you're an avid outdoor winter sports lover, you've probably spent most of the winter inside,
Netflixing,
fairly sedentary, right?
Yeah.
Netflix and chill. I mean, that whole, so your body's not even used to moving in such a way. So I think it is really important to understand that this is the time of year, this is the season when people really do need to start thinking about the concept of what non-exercise exercise really is, because something as simple as vacuuming stairs in a house up and down, something as simple as climbing a step ladder multiple times per day, cleaning out your eaves troughs, getting up on a rooftop, getting into the garden, bending down,
That's what it is. It's things that you don't realize that you're doing is going to hurt the next day. You're not standing up and down and doing 100 squats, because then you're going to know, okay, that's going to hurt tomorrow.
Right.
But when you're on your knees, reaching, getting rid of all the dead leaves and stuff like that, you're not doing anything that you don't think is a big deal. But then you realize how long you're in that position, and all of, like you say, the muscles you're using. It's not that you haven't walked or done anything all winter. You may every weekend have been out for a walk in the snow. You may have been skiing, but those are totally different muscles.
Totally different muscle groups and totally different muscle fibers, and totally different physical activity. So in terms of what you're actually doing with your body. So it's amazing how many people wake up in the morning after being active all weekend, looking after their home, spring cleaning, and they think to myself, man, I didn't even work out yesterday. Why is my back so sore? Why does my shoulder hurt? What, I mean, that's it. It's funny.
But didn't we have a neighbor, and I believe it was last fall, when he was going from his summer tires to his winter tires, and they had to get them out of the garage where they were kept, and he just did it and put the tires in the car, went and them got changed, put the other ones back in the garage, and the next day came and said, oh my God, I think I threw my back out. Oh, my shoulder's so sore. Oh my this. And they had no idea what he had done.
I must have slept funny.
Yeah,
I don't know what
he had no idea. So when we were talking to him and said, well, did you do anything? No, I didn't do anything. The only thing I did was, take my tires to get them changed. Well, really? Picking up 4 heavy tires
off of a tire rack at the back of a garage and hauling them out to the front?
But he never once thought that that was a physical exercise, that he should have stretched or at least done some warm up before he picked up that kind of stuff.
Well, and to your point, okay, people doing things like this, being more physically active this time of year in terms of spring cleaning and using their bodies in ways that they haven't for a while, you have to think about the nutritional side of things too.
Absolutely.
If it's warmer outside and you're out there perspiring for any length of time, how are you hydrating? How are you recovering some of those electrolytes? Or are you going to start cramping and seizing at night in bed because your electrolytes are so low and you're so dehydrated? So you have to think about those things too consciously. You also should think about, if you're using these muscles that you haven't used in a while, how do you recover, repair some of the damage that you've done to these muscle fibers that haven't moved for quite some time? Protein is the number one food for muscle. So are you feeding your body the right amount of protein? How much protein are you getting in throughout the course of the day during all this physical activity? So there are even consciously aware, or people should be more consciously aware of the nutrition that they're getting at this time of the year too, when they're doing things that they haven't done in a while.
But that's it. You have to understand that these everyday things that you're doing because they need to be done because it's that time of the year, or the people that sign up for baseball, soccer, whatever, that, oh, I can't wait. That'll be so much fun. We'll go out with the guys afterwards, have a few beers. It's a great social thing. But in the meantime, they're trying to get from home plate to first base. And by the time they get there, they're so out of breath. They're heaving and stuff. Well, that's physical exercise. You really should plan ahead. And who knows, maybe, a week or two before you start this league, you should go out after dinner with the wife or the kids and walk around the block and,
stretch those muscles.
Stretch a little bit, get used to the fact that you're not just going to go on the couch because it's dark and cold after dinner, and then expect to jump up on the first nice day and run 3 bases. It doesn't happen that way.
No, it absolutely doesn't. And I think I really, now I'm appreciating the fluorescent attire you have on, because I really do appreciate this topic. And I think a lot of listeners out there might appreciate the fact that they're being reminded to think about these things while they're getting out there and starting some of these, spring chores.
Yeah, because people don't think of that as exercise. They're moving their bodies, but they don't think, like, exercise to them is when you have to, get up, go to the gym or work out or do lunges or,
Get on a treadmill,
in a treadmill or something. Because, and that always isn't top priority for them, or that's not their love. What they love to do is go out or get in a kayak or go down the hikes with the kids because it's nice. Or what about that bike in the garage where they get it out from behind the fake Christmas trees and everything else, and they pump up the tires and they get on and they just want to go biking? Well, you know what?
Yeah.
You really should do a little body working before you do that, because it's not.
Otherwise, the hamstring seizes, you can't pedal, you fall off your bike as an adult. I mean, no, there's all kinds of crazy things that can happen. But, and I don't mean to make light of it, because there are serious injuries that can occur, right?
Absolutely.
If people aren't consciously aware of how they're moving their bodies and what it takes to prepare their bodies for this kind of work.
Just work slowly, do a few things, like even when it's still kind of cold and there's still a bit of snow or ice or whatever it is happening, get out there on a nicer day, bundle up, go for a walk around the block, go for a walk to get a coffee and walk home. Do things to sort of slowly get your body used to the fact that as soon as the ground is not frozen, you're going to be out there making stuff, planting carrots or tomato plants or pepper plants or whatever it is you're going to do. But work yourself up to that physical level that you'll be able to do it.
The truth is, people should be stretching their bodies on a daily basis.
Absolutely.
They literally should create some kind of a stretch routine that they can work themselves through every day. Doesn't matter the season, doesn't matter the reason. The reason ultimately is for better flexibility,
Absolutely.
Better mobility, maintaining better strength, right? You'll feel better. Everybody feels better when their bodies move more.
Mm-hmm.
And if you avoid injury by stretching and preparing your body every day,
mm-hmm.
then chances are you're not going to get caught so off guard when gardening season rolls around.
Yeah. Well, let's hope. Anyway.
Well, that's all the time we have for today. I want to thank you so much for getting physical with me today, Marilyn.
Oh, you're welcome.
And I'm Frank Peary.
And I'm Marilyn Mitchell. And remember, until next time, health equals wealth. So that's all the time we have today, but there's still so much more to talk about and learn. Head over to healthexpertscanada.com for more ideas on healthy living, and don't forget to like, download, and share this podcast with your friends, just for the health of it.